sound exhausted.
I am. I'm not sure that exercise agrees with me.
Do you think you'll need to get fit?
I like to make the effort.
Yes. You'll exercise alone.
Your father will get out again. He's trying.
Just to please you.
He wants to get well.
Now, how did that get on the box?
Trying.
When you said, you know, come and just do 3 minutes, oh, well, yeah, that's a cinch, isn't it, 3 minutes? But when you said, well, I want it to be rehearsed, to be seen rehearsing and also to be able to be played in 3 or 4 different ways, well, that is quite tricky. It is quite tricky. When you actually, and it was your idea, to make it a kind of murder mystery thing, that actually helped, because you can leave these sort of pregnant pauses and areas which are a little enigmatic and all the rest of it. Right. And that did ease the whole thing.
I mean, the fact that you've written something which is can be interpreted in a lot of different ways is nice from the point of view of what we're going to do, seeing it being rehearsed and so on. But it does also create problems, because the options, you've written it in such a way that it could be played in a lot of different ways.
My initial thoughts were that it's about a dodgy bloke, really. I mean, he's a bit strange.
Can we talk about the characters then for a second? If you think he's dodgy, you actually had him originally when you submitted the first draft. He was 30 years old.
Yeah, makes him more dodgy at 30, doesn't it? I mean,
well, I reduced him to 25, and in fact, I think he's going to be played by somebody even younger.
Dodgy.
Well, the point is, I've seen someone who seems to be have all the qualities that the script suggests. Yeah. In other words, he's sinister without looking eccentric. And funnily enough, being younger seems to make him slightly more sinister.
When I thought of him being 30, actually, I thought that there was somebody who hadn't done anything in his life, and therefore that's why he was angry.
Right.
You know, I mean, he totally screwed it all up and made a mess of it, and was perhaps relying on Dad's cash and realised he wasn't going to get it.
The opening, I think, is fairly clear. It's just going to establish where we are. I'm not quite so keen on the ending, to be honest. That's the one thing I didn't much like. I mean,
you mentioned that on the telephone.
Yeah, it's a bit of a. I mean, it is difficult because it's a scene which is taken out of context. It isn't a whole. It isn't a whole play. It says here, he looks down at her and then to the clump of trees. She follows his gaze. The trees sway quietly in the breeze.
Yes.
That's good. Tiny bit of a cop out. I thought that the last bit. I mean, would you mind if we altered it and maybe strengthened that a bit? It just seemed to me that it wanted something physical between them. It wanted to end on them rather than on a clump of trees.
I personally don't think you should always cross the T's and dot every I. I mean, I think it's quite interesting to end on something and think, I wonder what.
So I'm sure you're right there. What I don't agree with is particularly the specific way. If you don't mind, let's leave it. We'll see what we can come up with visually. Sure. Because I'm sure there's a visual thing we can do that will still suggest this openness without perhaps just ending on the trees.
Okay.
You didn't have any trouble finding the place, did you? Good. All right. Okay, so we've done the first bit. We've seen them trot up. We've seen you trot up. He's come out, and she's now lying on the bench, breathless. Okay, off you go.
Good morning.
You sound exhausted.
I am. I'm not sure exercise agrees with me.
Do you think you'll need to be fit?
I like to make the effort.
Yes. You'll exercise alone.
Your father will get out again. He's trying.
Just to please you.
He wants to get well.
He does.
He's trying. Last week I found him sitting on this bench. He'd struggled all the way up the hill, just to surprise me. Just to show that he would get well again.
Well, it is pretty flat. The main thing is, of course, this thing is going to work, I think, depending on the pauses. I think the pauses are more important than what's on the page. So should we try it once again? And in order to give it a bit more shape, should we try it in the sinister way?
I'm sorry you won't be there.
The only son and heir will be... A beautiful woman of 30 was left waiting at the church today. She expected to marry a wealthy industrialist. But it didn't happen. All those months you spent being kind and gentle. All those nights you sat with him. All those little things that were never too much trouble. All for nothing. There won't be a wedding. You'll have to go back to private nursing.
Tell me.
He's dead.
I was with him half an hour ago.
I've just left him.
Right. So how long was that?
That was 2:30.
2:30. So with the pauses, that's more. It'd be even longer than that, probably. Won't it? Probably wrote it down. So generally about the characters. Well, we'll try it various different ways, but if we assume, I think, as a point of departure, that she's fairly straightforward. I mean,
Yes.
the more I read the script, the more it becomes fairly clear. And also from talking to Geoffrey Case, who wrote it, that in fact the boy is a bit suspect. There's something a bit odd about him, which is why we cast you. And the girl can I think just be pretty straight.
I think the opinion he's got of her is that she's a gold digger. I mean, you'll have to go back to private nursing. My father's a wealthy industrialist, you know. I mean, to me, this sort of jealousy, maybe usurping his position as sort of, maybe he's going to inherit the wealth, or maybe his father's affections are being displaced towards him and going to the former private nurse.
Is that how you saw his attitude to you?
Not so much. I still feel that they have had some kind of liaison beforehand. I mean, I think the last page, I mean, she says, tell me. And the thing about him being dead, I don't think she's genuinely surprised.
Right. One thing, I'll just show you. I took some stills of where we're going to do it, just give you a rough idea. There's two possibilities, same area. It's fairly flat, because I don't know how good your jogging is. You might find running up a very steep hill. We don't want a real course in our hands. That's a path through the thing, which might be quite nice for you to run along. Then there's another bench which is tucked, which might be better for us, tucked much more under the trees, which could be better for somebody lurking to pop out and surprise us. So that's the path again. But that's see, it's a lurker there. But that could be quite nice. We can always pull it out a bit if necessary, just to give you a feel of what it looks like. Let me see if we can find a bench here to rehearse with.
Morning.
You sound exhausted.
I am. I'm not sure that exercise agrees with me.
Do you think you'll need to get fit?
I like to make the effort.
Yes. You'll exercise alone.
Yeah, I think that really does need a much longer pause. I think the position that worked fine. But I think before you'll exercise alone, you need a much longer pause, don't you? I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean you know her. You will exercise alone, or does it? What do you think? You will exercise... Yes, it must do. That's the first intimation.
Yes.
Okay. So that's the first moment we know that you two have met before, when you say you'll exercise alone, isn't it? That's the first time we know. So just go back slightly before that. What's the line immediately before? Do you think you'll need to be fit?
Yes.
Take it back to there. Do you think you'll need to be fit? Okay, on you go. Do that again.
Do you think you'll need to be fit?
I like to make the effort.
Yes. You'll exercise alone.
I wonder if you don't need to move there, you see. It seems it's such a change of a thing. I wonder, then you come back, what about coming back towards her slightly at that point? Just try it.
Yeah.
Having got to here, I think you need to be fit, yeah, that's better, whatever it is. And then you'll exercise alone, which is actually, you're telling her something. The rest has just been chit-chat, hasn't it? Passing the time of day. So just try it from the same point again. Do you think you'll need to be fit?
Do you think you'll need to be fit?
Oh, I like to make the effort.
Yes. You'll exercise alone.
Your father will get out again. He's trying.
Just to please you.
He wants to get well.
Does he?
He's trying. Last week, I found him sitting on this bench. He struggled all the way up the hill. Just to surprise me. Just to show that he wants to get well. I must go.
No, not yet. Your wedding.
You won't come. Your father will be sad. So will I.
Now, if you're going to do that, this, I mean,
It's got to be.
I quite like the touch
Yeah.
there. I just wonder if she shouldn't be the one. Put your hand down there again. You know, we were earlier talking about if you actually fancied him slightly.
Yes, yeah.
I just wondered if that speech about your father will be sad at the wedding, you won't come, your father will be sad. I just wondered if you mightn't touch him at that point. It'll mean rethinking that how you play the earlier part of the scene
Yes,
very slightly.
yes.
All right.
Morning, John.
Morning, John.
Nice
Hello.
to see you.
Yes.
Come and have a look, Heather. Come and have a look at the. Come and have a look at where we're going to be shooting. Have you met Alan Jonas, who's cameraman?
No, hello.
Hello.
Heather and Colin Forsyth, who's
Morning.
playing the young man.
Morning.
And Grace, is the sound recorded?
Hello.
Marilyn, you know.
Hi.
And everybody else you'll meet as the day goes on, I suspect. All right.
So this is where you want to do it, is it? So what do you think about the weather?
It said it was going to be misty and sunny after lunch.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you either believe it or you don't.
Well, I think we take a
The
chance.
BBC said it was going to rain.
Who's the BBC?
You've got lots of branches.
Can you, like, just try, can you actually lie on that bench? Let's just see, because it's not quite the same. It's a bit shorter, isn't it?
Sorry.
Can you get along behind there? Just have a look, just have a walk and see if it...
Makes a noise.
yeah, it's quite nice, actually. It's a bit dark here, it's a bit twilight under there, isn't it?
Well, let's just sort of start with the standard gear anyway, I think.
Okay. We might use one of these instead because they'll go
Oh, the
slightly,
trends.
slightly better under the
Okay.
jumper with a bit of luck.
But just in general terms, we're going to start off with the running shot. She's running across the heath. I'm
Yeah.
going to do those first.
Yeah.
There's a wide shot of the heath, little figure running, okay? Close up of the feet, which is the one I discussed with you running alongside her.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
handheld.
Yeah.
Close up of the face, so we can see she's listening to, she's got one of those earphone things on, listening to that. And then another wide shot, and the guy comes in foreground. Very sinister, full focus to the foreground. That'll be on the legs, obviously.
Yeah.
So that's our first things. Then we'll go round, then we'll go to the bench and run the whole scene.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay. I'll walk away from it and you get some idea, okay?
Nice, yeah.
Just talking at normal level.
Yeah.
Okay?
It's all working fine.
Great.
As I say, we'll watch the action first of all, see whether we can get away with just the boom, because
Yeah.
if we can't, what I'd like to do is use one mic, cut down the aircraft noise, background noise
Sure.
and everything. If we can't, if it looks as though it's a bit iffy, we'll put this on anyway.
Okie doke.
Okay, go.
He wants to get well.
Does he?
He's trying. Last week I found him sitting on this bench. He struggled all the way up the hill, just to surprise me.
I can see us having a track quite along here, but I mean, come on, try to
dead.
John.
I want obviously to try and use a boom, but I'm going to have to put something on the lady because there's a fair split there.
Yeah.
And also she's a bit low level anyway.
Particularly when she's lying out along here and he's down
Yeah.
there.
But what I'd like to use a boom on him because his voice is fairly good.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Let's leave that and we'll do the opening shot then. Set up the running shots.
I'm wondering, as this is the meat of it, shall we concentrate on this part of it here first? Because this is, you know, I think that will take care of itself, the running bit, I think, John.
Okay. Doesn't matter to me.
But can I...
The only thing is she's going to have to do some running. She's got to be genuinely out of breath when she arrives
She'll
here.
run in
Hello.
a small circle just before we go. That, you never actually see him coming out of the bushes. You stay there.
We've seen him in the bushes in an earlier shot.
Okay, so you stay there and you see his feet arrive.
Right. So you won't need to start so far back.
And hold it there, back a little bit, so we see your feet.
Just stand back a tiny. That's it.
There, okay, fine. So we see the feet. So I think there's got to be a cut to a low angle on his face.
Right.
And then, as he moves, right?
Hmm.
So off you go. We come round with him like that. And we finish up there.
Yeah.
Okay. And then he comes around. We comes up like that.
And I walk out. No, I went to see you walking. I mean, after.
You're two on.
All right, this is a rehearsal. We're running for rehearsal and action.
You'll exercise alone.
Your father will get out again. He's trying.
Just to please you.
He wants to get well.
Does he?
He's trying.
Last week, I found him sitting on this bench. He struggled all the way up the hill, just to surprise me, just to show that he could get well.
So from
About there, really.
there, that's right.
Yes. Yes.
Do you want to mark that?
Yes, if you like.
Well, just so we see where it goes into focus. Yeah. About like. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, go on. Let's see how much. And then what happens? She runs past Cameron.
She
doesn't
goes out of frame, yes. Yes.
Okay. All right. I should leave it a bit loose for now because if we're going to put music on, you may need it for the. Okay.
Okay.
Something like that. Hope she's running at the same speed.
Yes, otherwise we
Just
could be in
because-
trouble.
yeah,
The music
right.
will help, of course.
What would be the sensible thing? Be a good idea to try it with
Try it.
music. With the speed at which she's running.
How's that?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's just wait till the cut. That's not too bad, is
It's
it?
not, actually. It goes quite well with the feet.
We'll
Just
knock off the
slow
music
down a
for a
bit.
second and
Yes.
just watch the next shot.
Let's try
Yeah.
it. It worked quite well, actually. If we get the
Yeah. It's a bit kind of nothing, though. I just wonder why she'd be listening to music like this. Do you see
well,
what I mean?
we've got a different track we could try,
All right.
I think.
Turn it up a bit, because I think it's good when the
That's
drum is
better,
nice,
yes,
isn't it?
yes. And it's got a beat going to it too, which is very good for the feet.
Yeah. Let's just keep. Yeah.
I think
just
that's the sort of thing she'd be listening to.
You reckon it's
Storms
more
on
likely?
the- Yes.
Would, I suppose, do you jog? I mean, would you
No, I
would
don't.
you run to this kind of music?
I'd run away from it.
I think actually it is quite good for running, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
Particularly when it's...
Yeah, I mean, with it's I quite like that.
Okay. Well, there's no question that's the better one, isn't it?
Yes.
All right, should we go back to the front then and tighten this up, and then we can lay this track over?
Right. Well, if I make the cuts and I mark up the beats.
Oh, the picture cut.
Yes.
Okay.
Good morning.
You sound exhausted.
I am. I'm not sure that exercise agrees with me.
Do you think you'll need to get fit?
I like to make the effort.
Yes. You'll exercise alone.
Your father will get out again. He's trying.
Just to please you.
He wants to get well.
Does he?
He's trying. Last week, I found him sitting on this bench.
He struggled all the way up the hill, just to surprise me, just to show that he could get well again. I must go.
No. Not yet. Your wedding.
You won't come. Your father will be disappointed. And so will I.
It's always struck me as a funny newspaper headline.
What has?
Well, you being from Tooting Bec. Marrying Dad in our parish church in Barking. Barking man marries Tooting woman.
Yeah, I suppose.
Anyway.
I'm sorry you won't be there.
The only son and heir will be... A beautiful woman of 30 was today left waiting at the church. She expected to marry a wealthy industrialist, but it didn't happen. All those months you spent being kind and gentle. All those nights you sat with him. All those little things that were never too much trouble. All for nothing. There won't be a wedding. You'll have to go back to private nursing.
Tell me.
He's dead.
No, I was with him half an hour ago.
I've just left him.